So all of you, welcome to the day 2 of Oracle ADF session. Today we will be talking about JDeveloper. Yesterday, in continuation to what we had learned yesterday, wherein we checked like what ADF is all about, what is its history, how it came into existence, what all are the basic components that are part of ADF, and what we would be learning as part of this training program. So in continuation to that guys, day 2 is typically about getting our hands dirty with JDeveloper, and today we are going to check and talk guys how exactly you start working with ADF. So for that guys, the first slide talks about the new features. Now guys, see, as we all know that ADF has been in existence, the JDeveloper has been in existence. ADF was there with JDeveloper 9.9, it was there with JDeveloper 10G, and it is there with 11G. Now the latest version there is ADF 12G, JDeveloper 12, so it's available there also. So what were the new features guys that have been introduced in JDeveloper 11G? See guys, couple of things which have made the developer's life really easy. One of them is help system. See, previously when you used to install JDeveloper 10 and 9 and all those stuff, we had to always separately install help system. But with JDeveloper 11G coming into picture, it's a one-click Windows installable, and once it is installed on the machine, you will be able to very easily work with that. You will be having all the help system. All you need to do is press F1 and it will connect you to the rich help system from where you can take inputs and complete your work and code. Now that is about the functional thing, or that's about the support system. The very important thing guys is working set support. Typically what happens in a Java project, there would be an application and there would be multiple projects, and multiple people or the various people would be owning them. So in a Java application, say if there are 20 projects and if there are 5 developers who own it. Now as an individual developer, when you try to compile your project, what happens guys is it will compile, the JDeveloper will compile each and every project. JDeveloper will compile each and every project which is present in that application, and while it is doing so guys, it may happen that you would have hit a roadblock because someone else's code was broken. Many a times this thing has happened guys, that the developer's A's code is broken but developer B or C is also not able to proceed. The reason is JDeveloper will try to compile all the projects. So what's the way out? With JDeveloper 11G coming into picture, Oracle has given us something called as a working set support. So when you are developing, when you are working with JDeveloper, you will be able to configure a working set. You will say, okay, that as a developer B, I am working on projects 1, 2, 3. So JDeveloper for all the practical purpose will always consider and compile the code only for ABC. It will not compile the code for all the projects. So that is again guys a very useful utility, very nice feature as a developer. Now again guys, archive compare system has been inbuilt and it has been integrated with JDeveloper. Again guys, when we write code, whenever we are going to develop code in enterprise system or in companies, we definitely source control it. I hope we all understand what's the benefit of source controlling it, so that we can retrieve it for future use. And previously what used to happen is we used to have a tool A for development and then we used to have tool B for source controlling. So as a developer we had to always flip between, we had to always switch terminals, switch applications and all those stuff. But with ADF coming into picture guys, it's one system. So once you have JDeveloper in place, you configure JDeveloper against a source control system, and from the JDev itself guys, you will be able to source control the code. You will be able to check out a file to be modified, and you will be also able to check the differences, like what are the various differences that are there in the previous version and this version. And JDeveloper is such a friendly tool guys that it also gives you the differences between the various save buttons you have pressed. So that's what to the level of which it has been inbuilt here. Now, dependency analysis framework is a standard feature of almost all the Java development utilities. Like when you are deleting a file or you are renaming a file, it will tell you, it will prompt you, it will warn you about the place, the impact, and if you say go ahead and make the changes, it will change all the places. So that's again a guys nice and a useful utility that is available with us. Now the database support has been improved. JDeveloper 10G was also guys having SQL developer inbuilt in it. JDeveloper 11G also has SQL developer inbuilt in it. So from JDeveloper itself guys, you will be able to work, you will be always able to create things with database objects also in JDeveloper. So you don't have to flip between Toad and SQL developer or JDeveloper. It's one tool, one utility, and with that you are done. You don't need any other system. Then again guys, the application server integration has been improved. See, again, like yesterday also I was telling, from JDeveloper we build application, but we don't run our application from JDeveloper. Yes, while testing we do use JDeveloper, but the final code, the final piece of code always will go and reside on some application server. And that is what is exactly done in the application server integration. From JDeveloper, once you configure your JDev to point to as a WebLogic server or JBoss or any other application server, from JDev itself you will be able to push, you will be able to deploy the application on the application server. And again guys, the visual editor has been improved, means the look and feel of the system has been improved, the way the information has been organized has been changed, and all those things adds to the beauty of JDeveloper and ease for the developers. So now guys, installing JDeveloper is very simple. It's a one-click Windows installable. All you have to do guys is to launch the JDeveloper. Once you have downloaded it, launch the exe file. It's a Windows executable. You just keep on defining the path, the location, the middleware home and all those stuff. Once all those things are done, the JDev would be installed automatically. Once the JDeveloper has installed, you need to run or you need to execute the JDev to work with it. So guys, to work with it, again, in Windows environment, you can launch it from the taskbar or the programs guys, or you can go to the JDev home and click on this file, that is jdeveloper.exe. If you are on a Linux instance, then you need to again go to the JDev home, and there would be a file called as jdev.sh. You will be prompted, you will be launching that file, and once you launch that file, the JDev will start working. When you are launching it for the first time, very first time guys, you have to make sure that you make a proper role selection. It's based on this role that you will have access to the tech stack. Now since you are going to work with ADF, you have to select a role which has ability to work with ADF. In this JDeveloper 11G guys, this is a screenshot of 11.1.2 series. So the default role or the role that you have to select is Studio Developer. So Studio Developer is the role guys which would be having access to all the technologies, like including your ADF, database, Java and all those stuff. If you want to load JDeveloper with less bulk, with less memory and all those stuff, then you can select the corresponding role. Like if you are doing a Java development, you don't need definitely the ADF component, so you can just load the JDeveloper in the JDeveloper mode with the Java developer, and it will load the artifacts and the technologies which are helpful for building Java artifacts. Is it clear guys so far here?
Yeah, I'm clear. Thanks,
Yep.
Rajesh.
Yeah. Sure. So guys, at any point of time, if you have questions, do interrupt me and ask me questions so that we can discuss about the same. Now guys, once you have started the JDeveloper, then what you need? So you have launched the JDeveloper, it has come up on this screen. What you need to do? See again guys, I'm repeating the same thing, that you need to be in a proper role. Only when you have access to a proper role which has access to ADF, you will be able to build ADF based application and ADF components. In JDeveloper guys, till 11.1.16, 11.1.1.7 series, it's the default role that you have to select. In the latest version, that is 11.1.2.c, what you have to do is you will have to select the Studio Developer. Again guys, if you have by chance selected a wrong role, if by mistake you clicked on some other role, then what you will do guys is you can always go to Tools, Preferences. From Tool and Preferences, you need to go to Roles. Make sure you are selecting the proper role. Once you select the proper role, also guys, you can uncheck this checkbox so that you are not prompted for role every time. And once you click OK guys, the JDeveloper will restart to load the new role. See guys, every time whenever you are changing the role, the JDev will restart. The reason is very simple, because it has to load the artifacts which can help you with that particular tech stack, and that's what would be done here. Now guys, once you have a proper role, you have access to ADF tech stack. So now what you need to build? See, now you need to build a guys application which is based on ADF. So again, ADF is a Java based framework. So in Java guys, the highest level of placeholder is always called as a JWS or a application or a Java workspace, which will be the high level of container which we put together, which will hold all the artifacts within that application. So that is what we'll have to create. Once you have the application in place, now you start building the ADF components. So in ADF components, since it's a MVC architecture, we'll be building two projects. One would be for the model, which would be typically having all our business components, and then there would be a project for view controller. So view controller would be the one guys where we'll be having our UI artifacts like the task flows and guys the pages and everything. So now what you have is you have an application, you have a project, you have a view controller project. Now again guys, since as part of this training program we are going to work with database support with a relational database, so we would be needing a relational database connection, and that's what is needed in the database connection. We will establish a connection to the database. Once we have a connection to the database, we would be able to very easily work with the JDeveloper. So that is what guys we will see. First I'll take you through these slides guys, like how do you create the application in JDeveloper. Once you have done that, what we will see is, we will see in the JDeveloper the same thing. So creation of an application is again simple. It's a declarative tool. It's a Windows based environment, and since it's Windows based guys, you can very easily create the same thing from multiple locations. Like you can either go to say file and say new, or you can click on this new icon, or guys you can just say new application. Once you select the proper new application, then you would be prompted to this gallery, which would be new gallery. So there you have to go to journal. We are trying to create an application. In the application they have given us a couple of predefined templates. So for us guys, since we want to build a ADF application, make sure you are selecting Fusion Web Application with ADF. Okay Gulam and Mahesh? Otherwise what may happen is, you can always create a generic application and work with it, but the problem would be that you'll have to configure it yourself for ADF development. So it's always better that we go with the default and the standard templates that JDev has provided.
So what are the major difference between the desktop type and the Fusion web application?
Yep. See, like yesterday when we discussed the diagram, right, I told you, right, like ADF model can bind directly with the Oracle of this Microsoft Office like Excel and all those stuff. Those are the artifacts you would be creating in Fusion desktop application.
Okay, so that depends on the requirement actually.
Yes. So
okay, yeah,
what we need is a web application where we'll be rendering our end product in a browser. So that's the reason we select Fusion web application and not this Java desktop ADF application. Okay. Once you have selected the right template, and when you click OK, it will initiate the wizard. All the wizards guys in JDeveloper will follow the same pattern. They would be mentioning the steps, the current step, then it would mention the number of steps, and in the central place guys, they will give you option to configure the particular thing. So here we are creating an application, so we'll be giving the name, we'll give the directory structure, and we'll give the prefix. So once we have given the prefix, like prefix again is something to do with the package structure. In Oracle Apps Gulam scenario, if you talk, it would be oracle.apps.gl or oracle.apps.pa kind of a format. Okay. Yeah. If you have selected, if you say you are going to create the application from this fashion, when you know that you are already creating an application, the template selection would be dependent here in the same wizard. So once you have given all these three things, you will say next, and when you click on next, it will take you to step 2. Now since you have used a template, it will by default will have these 5 steps. And when these 5 steps are available, the first thing, the step 2 would be about the model project. See, model project is the one guys where we are going to kind of have our artifacts which would be related to business components, like what entity object, view object, and all those stuff guys would be residing in the model project. So again, as part of this training program, you can leave the default name, that would be model, you can leave the default directory structure. But when you work in the organization, you need to make sure that you are selecting the proper role, you are selecting the proper name as per the functionality. Now again guys, since we have used the template, it will by default have this ADF business components in Java selected. If you would have not selected this, you would have to do the manual step. So it's always advisable that we go with the default one. So we'll just go with the default business components in Java tab. Once you've selected this, there are these generated component and associated libraries, which I'll be discussing when I'll take you to the JDeveloper. In the screenshot, I'm not able to show you that. Once you've done that, the step 3 guys would be about the Java preferences. See, since we are generating a Java based framework, we definitely need the Java packaging structure and all those stuff, like where exactly the Java files are going to reside. So the default package would be a combination of the default package you give for model and the one which is selected in the application. Once these two have been done, then it's the source path, where exactly your source files are going to reside, where your XML files would be residing. and then the classes package, guys. The classes directory is the place where your Java classes would be residing, at the runtime code. Once you click next, so step 1 was about the application configuration, step 2 and 3 were about the model configuration. Now it's step 4 and 5. So step 4 and 5 would be about your view controller configuration, like your UI project. So when you are going to work with the UI, guys, again you need to give the name, you need to give the directory structure. These things comes by default, guys, when you are using the template. And again, guys, here the technologies that are selected, you can very easily make out that these technologies are related to UI development, right? You can see this part of screen, guys, right, where my mouse is moving. It says ADF, faces, page flow, HTML, Java, JSF and all those stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Shri, are you comfortable so far?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I'm
great.
good.
Yep. So once you have configured all these things, the next step, the last step would be about the Java preferences for your view controller project. So that again, guys, the default package would be view, the source and the class part. And once you will click finish, what will happen, guys, is you will get a application. You would have created a application and it will open in an application editor. Now this screenshot is from your older version. In the new version, it looks different. That I'll show you once I take you to JDeveloper. So guys, I'll take you to JDeveloper. So can you all see my JDev?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, that's great. So this is how, guys, your JDeveloper is going to look when you are going to launch it for the first time. Once your JDeveloper is looking like this, now our goal is to create an application. So how do I create? See, in very front it is said new application, or you can click on this new, or you can go to file and say new. When you go to the new, it will pop up new gallery. So our goal is to create an application. Now these are the templates that have been made available by default from Oracle. If you install SOA and Web Center extensions, there would be 2 additional projects and the application templates that would be available. So from here, guys, we will select Fusion Web Application because that is what we are about to create in this training program. Once I select OK, it will initiate the wizard. So step 1, as I told you, would be about the name of the application. Again, guys, the name would be typically driven by your organization structures. In this training program, we go with the series, guys, with the batch that we are taking. So for me, it would be typically B66, that is batch 66. I'll mention it demo and I'll say app. So it is B66 demo app. Now the directory structure. The directory structure, again, by default, all the Java artifacts, guys, would be residing in C JDeveloper my work, and then it will create a folder for the application. The prefix. Again, guys, application prefix we are using here as per our training, that is company.com.sm-consultants.application. In Oracle app scenario, it would be oracle.apps.gl.piece of functionality or oracle.apps.pa and the sub components. Once you have defined all these 3, I'll click on next. Once I click on next, okay, it says that this application is already existing. So we'll just change it, guys, the name to B65. So when I click on next, okay, so B65 does not exist. See, if there is already an existing application there, it will prompt you a message that that file exists. So we'll say B65. Once I click on next, guys, it will ask me about the model preferences. So see, the model project would be about your preferences, about your business components. So that's why you can see the default technology that has been selected is business components in Java, and you cannot unselect them. You can always add additional tech stack, but again, guys, we will not be adding anything as of now. There are no generated components, but yes, there are associated libraries. And I hope, guys, you both understand, right, that it's because of these associated libraries will you get the base classes, right, which are used for development. Correct, guys? Shri and Gulam?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I can understand this.
Great. So this is what would be the base libraries or the jar files. So model runtime library would have jar files which would be typically related to the business components and all those stuff. Oracle JDBC to connect to Oracle database. If you have to connect to any other database like say MySQL or SQL Server or anything, you will have to add the corresponding jar file which will have the driver for that particular database. Once I click on next, the step 3 is about the Java settings or Java preferences for your view controller, for your model project. So when you are coming here, again say it's the combination, it's the clubbing together of your application prefix as well as the package of the project. So here this comes from app and this model is from the model project. The source path, the class path, which is perfectly fine, whatever comes by default. Next. See, the next is about view controller. So this is the project where we will be having our view, that is our pages, ADF faces, and controller, that is ADF task flow. And that's the reason, guys, here you can see the tech stack that has been selected is different from the business components. Here you have faces for UI, page flow, that is task flow, HTML because it's ultimately a HTML page which would be rendered, Java, JSF, underlying tech stack, JSP and servlet is also underlying tech stack. XML always is needed, guys, because all the artifacts that we are going to create are based on XML files. And even the associated libraries here, guys, would be different from the ones which were there in business components. There we had ADF business components runtime or model runtime. Here you have faces runtime and common runtime. Also, guys, in view controller project, there are a couple of files which gets generated by default. More about these files we will be discussing as we move down the line. At this point of time, I can tell you that web.xml is the configuration file for your web projects, Java web projects or Java applications. Faces config is the default configuration or the controller for your JSF applications. ADFC config is the default controller for your ADF based application. Trinidad config is the file which will typically help you to configure the look and feel of the application. Once you click on next.
Hi Rajesh.
Rajesh.
Yes. Yes, Sri.
Understanding you. Yeah, there's some with the internet connection.
Okay. Is it clear, guys, now?
Hello.
Yeah. Is it clear?
Yeah. The thing is, now it's clear, but the thing is, there's some slow internet connection. So in between the connectivity stops and then again it resumes back.
Okay, yeah, sure. Sorry for that. What we would be doing,
okay.
Yeah, what we would be doing is we will be uploading this recording to our Google Drive. So we will give you access to it and you can listen it once again. So that way, whatever you have missed out, or if you want me to repeat, I can repeat.
Can you also explain what is a view?
What is it?
If you go one step back.
Yes.
Yeah. What exactly do you mean by view?
Okay, see view again, see when we talk about MVC architecture, view is again, see view as the name says, right? It's the face of the application, face of the system or face of the framework. So in ADF, the view is the ADF faces, means the end HTML product which would be shown to the end user. That is what is view here. Is it clear, Shri?
So it's a front end screen actually. What user will be using?
Yes, exactly, Ghulam. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
So you created 3 different files. One was config. If you go on the next tab,
yes.
Generated. So what's the difference? What's stored in those all 3 different type of tabs actually?
Okay.
Files.
See, web.xml is the default configuration file that is made available for your JSF based application. What it will have is it will have the servlets, it will have the URL pattern. Like see, when you go and access a particular URL, it will see, okay, if there is this URL pattern, it has to go and call this piece of code. So that's what would be there in web.xml.
Sorry to interrupt. How much chances are there that you need to change them manually, do something manually?
Very rare.
Practically.
Very rare. From developer perspective, it's very rare.
All right. So in a practical environment, you don't need to to change it.
Yeah, we do change it, but it's very basic, all the nominal changes, which I'll be showing you like as part of this training program. What all you change.
Okay, so there's nothing complicated in those files then.
Yes.
Controlled by the system itself.
No, web.xml is a bit complicated, but yeah, since we don't work with it, it's the framework control file.
Okay, yeah.
Faces config, when we build ADF based application, we don't even touch it. It's there because it's the default controller for your JSF applications, and since ADF is based on JSF, it's available here. But we don't touch this file faces config. Yes, on internet you may find some blogs where they say you need to configure the listeners and all those stuff in faces config, but I'll tell you a better way to work with the listeners too. So we don't touch this file. ADFC config, yes, we definitely work with this file. We work a lot because it is the default controller for your ADF based application. So it's kind of a task flow. It's a default task flow, unbounded task flow of ADF.
A sort of navigation controller, or?
Yes, exactly. Yes, we do control navigation in ADFC config.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Trinidad config is to configure the look and feel, like how your application is going to look. If you want to change the CSS, if you don't want to make the, if you want to make the background blue or green or any other red, you will be doing it with the help of Trinidad config. Is it clear? Yeah. So guys, is it clear? Shall we move to the next step?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yep, great. So again, the last step would be about the preferences, the Java settings about the view controller project. So in this is where guys, you are going to again set the default package and we leave as it is. And once everything is done, when you click on finish, guys, have a look on this part of the JDeveloper that is on the left hand side of my screen. And as soon as I'll click on finish, you will see an application will get created and it will create by default 2 projects, which you will see here, right? You can see this, right? It says an application has been created and there are 2 projects. One is the model and the other is view controller project, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the application overview. In this slide it was different. In the latest releases it looks like this. So here it will give you an overall overview of your application. Like how many Java files are existing. As of now there are no Java files. How many page flows, the controllers. See, that is what I told you, right? Faces config and ADFC config are the default controllers. One for JSF, the other for ADF. So it's available. There are no web pages. There are no business components. There are no binding files or the offline database as of now. So everything is blank. We can always close it, not needed. If you want to see it again, you can right click here and say show overview. It will show up this window once again. So this is how you will be able to see the application. Now what I'll do guys is I'll take you to the backend. I'll take you to the file system and we'll analyze the files that have been created. Okay?
Yep.
So the way we go is, it's again guys, as I told you, it would be stored in C JDeveloper my work. So we'll go to C. We'll go to JDeveloper. In JDeveloper, we'll go to My Work folder. Once I select this My Work and click OK, I'll land in this folder. So again guys, here is where you will have all the applications. Each application would be contained in a directory. So whenever as part of this training program or after that also guys, if someone asks you to send your application, all you have to do is zip the particular directory and send it to the other person. All the artifacts related to a application are bound to stay in this folder. Okay guys, until and unless you specifically don't specify directories which are outside it. Is it clear guys?
So it includes everything, means the jar file, or it is a breakup of all the files like Java, XML and everything?
Yep, all the files. See, as of now we have created this
files.
Yeah, B65 app, right? So everything would be contained in this, and you can see the timestamp, right? The timestamp says 25th of August 10 p.m. 10 p.m. and 9 minutes, right? And that's the time right now. So I'll just click on it. So once you click on it, you will see the artifacts in it. So see this file that is available here, B65 demo app, that is called as a JWS. It has an extension JWS that stands for Java Workspace. Okay?
Yep.
So this is the file that is available there. Now for every project there would be again a directory structure. So there is a directory for model. It has this model.jpl, that is Java project. And that's what is there in this model, which is visible here, right?
Yep.
There is this classes path. You can ignore it. It would be about the Java classes. We have a view controller project also. So there is a view controller directory also. In this view controller, again you have this view controller.jpl. There is classes file you can ignore. And again, we had created by default 4 files, right? So those files would be residing in this public HTML web.inf folder, which are visible here.
Yep.
So these are the 4 files. Again, we shouldn't be going to the file system and modifying these files. This is just for your reference, for your information. Now there are these 2 other additional folders here. So .adf is the file which will again have configuration file of this application, like how do you want to configure this application. Same would be there in the SRC. It will also be a configuration file about the application server and all those stuff. Like since by default JDeveloper is using WebLogic, so we'll be having WebLogic-applications.xml file. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
Great. So we'll move on to the next step. So what we have done so far is we have created an application and we have seen the files which are there in the file system. Now again guys, as I told you few slides back, yes, you need an application, but again when you want to read and write data into the database, you definitely need a connection, you definitely need a reference to a database. And that reference is exactly what is created in this database connection. Again, JDeveloper being a declarative tool and ADF being a declarative framework, they let you do it declaratively just like you add a connection in SQL Developer or Toad. What you need to do is you go to the application resources, right click. Once you right click, it will say new. So when you are trying to establish a new connection, JDeveloper is a powerful tool. It has various options, various systems to which it can connect to. As part of this training program, we are going to connect to a database. So we'll say database. Once we say database, this window pops up. Here you give the name, the type. See, now again, you can connect JDeveloper to any of the available relational databases. And that's what is exactly available here. By default in this training program, we are using JDeveloper. So we'll say Oracle JDBC. We'll give the username, password like as per our credentials, the system which you have access to, the database system to which you have access to. And you can also give test connection. So once you test, it will connect, it will ping the database, it will check, okay, the database username, password and everything is correct. Say success, click OK. Database connection is created. So that is what guys I'll show you now. I'll take you to JDeveloper. In this JDev guys, I'm going to create a database connection. So for me to create a database connection, again, I need to create within the reference of this application. So there is this application resources available here. I'll expand it. At this point of time guys, you will see that there are no connections here, right? Because we haven't established connection to any particular system. Now we are going to establish it to a database. So I'll right click, say new connection. So these are the various type of things to which you can connect to. We want to connect to a database. So I'll say database, the name. Again guys, the name would be driven by your organizational standards. We are going to use this B65 dbcon, like as per our application name. Now guys, when I click on this, it shows the various types of databases to which you can connect to. We are going to work with Oracle JDBC, so we are going to select JDBC. If you are working with MySQL, DB2 or SQL Server guys, you need to add the corresponding jar file with the Java classes to this particular project and only then you will be able to connect. Since we are connecting with JDBC, I'll say this. I'm connecting to the HR schema guys, which is the default schema available in my database. My database is a local host, it's on localhost, it's on same machine, so I say this. If you connect to any system which has the IP address or a particular name, you can connect the port, the host, and once you click on test connection, what it will do is it will hit the database and say that okay, it is successful. Once you click OK, what it will do is it will establish a database connection and you are good to go. So this is what guys is needed for you as the bare minimum setup in the JDeveloper to start working with ADF. Is it clear guys? Sri, Gulam and Mahesh?
Yes, okay to me.
Great. How about you, Sri?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Within a workspace, can we create multiple projects?
Yes, we need to actually create, and that's what
to create multiple projects within a workspace.
Yes, that's how Java applications are built, and that's what this slide talks about, like creating new projects in JDev. And a project has to be always in context of an application or a workspace. So that's what. So see guys, as she said.
Sorry to I think we have already created two projects under this area, demo model and view controller. These are two projects. Am I right?
Yes, Gulam. See, Gulam, but again, when we work with Java applications, see, typically what we'll have is we'll have an application at a high level. When you talk in Oracle apps reference, right, see, there would be a GL application. So GL would have various other sub-functionalities, right? So those sub-functionalities would again be created as separate projects.
So wouldn't that be a workspace then? A GL means workspace or?
Yes, GL is a workspace. GL is a workspace. See, workspace is at a very high level, like which will include say maybe say 40 to 50 sub functionalities, and those sub functionalities would be created as projects here.
Yeah, then under line comes projects like payables, receivables.
Yes. No, payables and receivables is also at a high level. See, payables, it would be a separate application.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
When we talk about GL, there could be a project for say journal lines. There could be a project for say the main accounting headers and all those stuff.
Yeah, it will be complete workspace.
Yes. So that's what we would be definitely needing multiple projects. So for us to create multiple projects, again it's very simple guys. All you have to do is right click on the application and say new project. When you say new project, this window would be popped up in JDeveloper. Again, there are templates. See, that's what JDeveloper has done. That's what Oracle has done with ADF. They have given you predefined, pre-configured templates for most of the thing. So all you will be selecting is you will select ADF model or view controller template and click OK. So the corresponding project would get created. That is what I'll show you in JDeveloper now. So see, here you can see if you want additional project, right click, say new project. So here you see the list of templates. So you can either select a model or a view controller project. So if you select a model project and click OK, it will give the name and the preferences by default, the two-step. If you select generic project, see that's what will happen when you select a generic project. There won't be any application technology selected. You select business components, now it becomes a model project. So it automatically gets step 2 and this jar guides gets associated. So this is how you would be creating it. Clear guys? We will not create because we don't need in this training, because we will be building a small application, not a huge one.
Okay.
Yeah. So now guys, whatever we have seen so far is what is typically needed by us to work with ADF. Now what we are going to talk for the next few minutes guys is about setting couple of preferences, about configuring your JDeveloper so that as a developer your life is easier. Technically this will have no impact guys whatever you are doing here, but yes, they will significantly ease your life. The packaging, the naming, all those things guys can be defined, can be configured at a JDev level, so that whenever you create a new artifact, all those things would be pre-configured. So for that guys, you can go to tools, preferences, business components. In business components guys, the first preference is about Java files. See, in ADF again guys, we don't generate Java files by default. We generate only on the need basis. In OA framework, they were getting generated by default, but in ADF, we do it only on the need basis, on the specific use case. So as of now, we will not select any of the checkbox. The next preference is about base classes. So this is very important guys. So these are the base classes which have been given by Oracle, on which Oracle has spent energy, effort and time and money to give you these base classes. So as an individual, don't touch it, don't override it. Because if you override these base classes and point it to some other classes, your ADF framework will stop working. Do you understand, Mahesh, Gulam and Shri?
Yeah, but still you can use them manually in the code, can't you?
No, you can always use it, but again it would be too much of effort. For you to always say when you create a new entity MPL, you would have to type in manually that it extends oracle.jbo.server.entity.mpl. So that's the reason. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let you complete first. Then I will ask you a very interesting question.
Yeah. So that's the reason, guys. We don't touch it. But when I say individually. At organization level, guys, yes, companies do extend their functionality. So at organization level, it is done in a very controlled fashion where they extend these base classes. They write couple of their own methods. They write their own functionality and they use this. So at organization level, it's done. But it's again in a very, very controlled fashion, guys. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. The next prefix is about the naming. See, again, you can create objects with any name, any suffix, any prefix. But again, as per Oracle applications, they end all your entity objects with EO suffix, view objects with view and application modules with AM. So one way is to do it manually. Like whenever you create an application, you go and say that. The other easier approach always, guys, is to give the name here. Once you configure it, whenever a new objects of entity object type would be created, it will automatically name it with EO. It will automatically suffix it with EO, view and AM based on the type of object. The last one about guys is packages. See, package in Java is nothing but it's like a physical directory structure which gets created in the physical file system. Again, we would like to keep artifacts in separate files. So we would like to keep entities in entity folder. Associations is a subcomponent of entity, so it would be a directory within association. Within entity, so it would be entity.association. That would be view, view.link, application module, and common client. Again guys, if you want you can set it, if you don't want you can leave it, but yeah, it is strongly recommended that you configure your JDeveloper so that your life becomes easier. So this is what guys we had for this slide. I'll take you to the JDev and I'll show you how these things are configured. So now guys, we are going to my JDeveloper. Again, important thing here guys, in my machine, on my machine, in my JDeveloper, these preferences would be already available because I have been using it from a couple of while. If you are doing it for the first time, at that point of time it is needed that you set it. So I'll go to tools, preferences. In preferences we'll go to business components. So the first preference it says is about Java files. Select the checkbox for the class types that you would like Java classes generated for by default. So if you want any Java class by default, you can check it. But again, yes, in this training, no. Most of the time in working environment also no, because we generate Java files only on the need basis, not by default for all of them. Now the next thing was about base classes. This is what I was telling guys. As a developer, as an individual developer, avoid doing overriding it. But yes, at organization level, it is done in a very controlled fashion. Then it is about the object naming. Object naming again guys, on your machine it would be blank like this. Just go and type EO there so that all your entity objects getting created guys would be with EO. Then there is this view controller, VO and AM. Now the next was about packaging. Again guys, this will not be set in your machine, so just go and change it to entity. Association should be in entity.association, view, view link and an application module. Now A would be small, M is capital. This is how Java is coded guys. This is called as camel casing. So this is again a standard Java standard. So now guys, again these are the preferences which we talked about in slide, but there are other preferences. I'll quickly run over them guys, run through them. In detail guys we'll be seeing as we move down the line. So by default guys, application module, this is about the performance tuning parameter. By default application modules are active, they are non-lazy. If you want to configure the lazy loading behavior, you can just check this checkbox and set it true. This is a performance tuning parameter. Base classes we have seen. Class naming. Class naming is about the Java files which are generated, like what would be the extension, what would be the ending part or the suffix of it. So these again guys, we typically go with the default ones that Oracle has given. Entities. This again is a performance tuning parameter where how many rows you want to send in a batch. By default it is always one row. As soon as you update a row, it goes back to the DB. This is about the journal, like if you want to have custom comments and all those stuff. So here we are having a default comment that is SMM consultant. So all the XML files that would be generated here would be having this comment. The history type, the standard who columns which are part of Oracle apps. It's a strongly advisable guys, in all the applications that you create, try to have who columns. Object naming we have seen, packaging we have seen, register role. This again guys is a very nice, very useful utility that has been given to us, that you can create declarative rules, business rules in ADF. How it is done we will be seeing later. Service annotation feature is disabled currently. Tester. This is guys for multilingual testing, like if you want to make sure your application is multilingual. So this is how you will be able to test it out here. View objects. This again guys is a performance tuning parameter which says how many rows is to be fetched, what is the control hint and all those stuff. So this is what is about view controller. This again is a performance tuning parameters. Once you click OK, those preferences are set. So guys, this is how you'll be setting, and this is what we had for the day. So I'll just stop here and we'll take up Q&A now. So Gulam, Shri and Mahesh, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, Shri.
No, but yeah, I think last class also you told me, right? So the version for JDeveloper is 11.1.2, right? 6.
See, in this training program I'm using 11.1.1.6.0. The latest one that you can download from Oracle website currently is this version 12.1.2.0.0.
12. Okay.
Yeah, so it has been very recently launched. It has been launched in June or July sometime, like just 1.5 month back. So that's why we are using this then.
And the database I can download is the Express edition, right?
Yes, that is the advisable one because it will take it's very easy to install and it would be like, it would suffice our requirement in this training program.
Okay, but one thing I didn't tell to you is because I'm not Java background developer person, so I'm basically working the PLC core SQL scripting languages. So, and before developing those ADF pages, the JSP pages, so do you give any knowledge on the classes?
Yep. See again. Yeah. Sure, Sri. See, Sri, yours is a very valid question. It's asked by many of the participants because they are from Forms background or PL/SQL background and they move to ADF. See, the way it works is ADF is a declarative framework. So for the default functionalities, you don't need any Java. But yes, if you have to customize for business applications, Java is mandatory. So what we do as part of this training program is, typically for initial 5 or 6 sessions, you don't need any Java. We'll be doing everything declaratively. After that, we start working with Java. So when the participants are not comfortable, we spend 1 hour or 1.5 hour where we kind of make you comfortable with the basics of Java. Means when I say basic, it's very basics. So that you can identify what is a class, what is a method, what is a scope, how do you declare a method, how do you declare a class, how do you declare variable. Based on this, why we are telling only basic is because whatever Java classes are needed by the framework, we do cover. See, for entity objects, the classes would be the same which we have seen here, right? The classes would be these. So we'll be talking in detail about these classes, like what is stored in entity IMPL, what is there in VORO, VODEF IMPL. So you would be comfortable with that. So whatever Java classes are there for framework, we would be discussing in this training program. Other than that, yeah, basic Java we do cover. But that's only on the need basis if participants really feel that they need. Does it answer?
Yeah.
Yes, Gulam.
Sorry.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So go ahead.
Rajesh, did you get a chance to check JHead start? What is the relationship with? Because I have been working at one place. They were using ADF product for development, and they were using JHead start actually. I don't understand why we are not covering this in the course.
Gulam, I didn't get a chance to work with it, and maybe I'll check it out and I'll update you back. I'll drop you a mail with the references which you can refer to because I was too busy yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to look into it.
Okay, I will leave it with you to see if that's required. But because it seems like practically when you're working somewhere in UK, it's my experience, most of people are using JHead store on top of ADF.
No, but that's not true, Gulam. Like, see, maybe it's a one-off case because, see, we have worked with, like, I worked with at least around 10 different companies on 10 different projects, and nowhere have we come across JHead studs. At one place it was used, but that was for customization of your PeopleSoft applications.
Okay.
Not other than that. Otherwise, it is always pure ADF. Yes, people do use Web Center a lot on top of ADF faces because it gives a better and rich look and feel over the ADF faces.
What did you say, Web Center?
Yes.
It's the latest version of JHead store.
I am not sure about that.
No, I'm asking you. Okay, no, sorry.
No, Web Center is a different tech stack. See, it's like Web Center gives you additional functionalities and features. Like, see, when you go to iGoogle, right, you can customize the visits that you want to see in your page. You have tagging, you have those tags and all those stuff. That's what is part of ADF Web Center. So it's a layer on top of ADF faces.
So how much do you feel comfortable once we go through this whole course? Would we be able to start working for some company practically, or still we'll need some more course to go through?
Yep. See, for ADF, we can promise you that if you're practicing the exercises that we are doing as part of this training program, you would be definitely comfortable working for any organization. Because we would be covering all the important aspects of ADF, whatever is needed from the practical perspective. But yes, when you work in an organization, the business use cases that you are going to implement would be different. But yes, after this training, those things will start making sense and you will be able to figure out and Google out the information. Because right now, if you...
Would I be able to translate any Oracle Forms application into ADF environment easily? I mean,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
it's a little bit different concept of VMC, while in Oracle Forms we don't care about anything. We just go and start writing anything, whether it's the customized block or it's just a database block. We can write our queries down there, but over here we can't do something like that.
No, you will be able to do. See, forms you will be able to very easily kind of recreate in ADF because many of the people which we have trained were from forms and background and they were comfortable with ADF. See, like specifically talking about me, like this is again, like you can see, right, this is my 66th batch, actually 66th number I had created before, so I am creating this application with 65 number, but this is my 66th online batch. And I have taken corporate trainings, I have taken like face-to-face trainings in our office and all those stuff, right? So we have trained like maybe at least around say 250 to 300 plus people and they were comfortable with the tech stack. So that way I can assure you that you would be comfortable. But yes, again, provided you have to work. See, the biggest challenge with ADF is that when I do it right, you will feel, oh, it's so simple. But it's so simple for me because I have clicked on that checkbox multiple times, maybe say hundreds of times. But for you to come to that frequency level, yes, you will have to practice along with us. If you practice along with us religiously, yes, you would be able to start working. That we can assure you for sure. And after that also, after training is over also, you can always get in touch with us. Like you can chat with me, you can call me, but phone is least preferred, but you can always drop me a mail, chat with me. I can give you guidance like this is how you can approach a issue. We will not be able to log into your machine and work, but yes, we can guide you always that, okay, use this component. And whatever we'll talk after 30 days, right, regarding ADF, it will make sense to you. Because right now, if I say, okay, create a task flow and if you want a global transaction, manage it through the task flow. So right now, it doesn't make sense. But yes, when we would be done with this course, when I would give you this in, you would be able to easily achieve it, the business functionality.
Okay, yeah, that's quite encouraging.
Yeah. So, and we have trained people, Gulam, and you can always go and visit our website. I hope which you would have visited. And you can always visit the framework, the feedback section. Like, so if you go to Oracle ADF, you can see ADF training feedback and you can check the feedback for all the trainings which we have conducted. So you would consistently find it good. So see, like everyone, like we have different trainers, like Raj is one of the other trainer, but wherever it is mentioned at Rajesh, it is about me. So you can see like say overall learning experience, it was in the month of January, then November, December, and you would find feedback from like maybe 1 year before also. So wherever people were like not happy, like wherever we had some issues, so they gave 2 feedback for punctuality because once in a while, yeah, we miss out some sessions and some people are very particular about it. But rest all,
That's acceptable.
yeah, rest all wherever you see it's pretty good. Like you can check it out, right? The overall average if you see. So it's almost everything is 80 plus, maybe 85 plus because it's 4.35 or so. So
Right. So just a quick technical question again. It's the last question for me, hopefully.
yep.
Do you know how to work in Oracle Forms? Do you have a little bit idea about that, or I hope you should be?
Yeah, I have actually. See, I worked initially. I was a forms developer, and then I moved to ADF. So
Okay. So I just question is, suppose I'm going to write a new form in Oracle Forms. I created a database block, and then I created some canvas to display data. There's
yes,
one way.
yes,
That's the default. I use a wizard to carry on and continue and do some basic form, and then later on I can still customize to control it more to user control. There's another way. We write customized forms. Like I don't need to write any database block. I just need to create a block and create a dummy tab, create dummy items over there, and then control them through buttons by validating. If you press save, then it's going to validate everything, and then literally use insert statement into the table and write the data or read the data after some validation rules.
yes,
It's purely customized form. You know what I mean?
yes.
So in ADF, I believe you will be teaching us, basically you'll be teaching us initially, I would say, default template type that is going to click, it's going to create a application, then a workspace, within workspace application project, view MC, is mapped with a database table, then a view is going to show us, okay, this is the view, you can enter or retrieve data from there.
Yep.
What about the other part, the manual one, I mean, totally manual. I want to create my own fields and then I want to write my own code. How complicated it is in ADF? Well, in forms, I know it's not very complicated. Somebody is known with coding PLSQL. That's it. He or she wants. Yeah. How about ADF? Do you need? Do you feel comfortable with that, or it's very complicated?
Yeah. See, it's a very interesting question, but again, see, we would be strongly discouraging such a coding because see, if you are using ADF, right, and if you are doing Java coding, right, it doesn't make much sense. So when you use ADF, you should go with the default behavior. But yes, if you need, I can show you everything. Like see, any use case which you feel like you would want to be seen in this training program, you let us know in upfront, like maybe 2 days or 1 week before, and we'll practice it and we'll show it to you. And yes, calling Java PL SQL from Java is very simple. Creating ADF UI without ADF business components is possible, but again, strongly discouraged. The way ADF works is, whatever logic you want, you write in business components. You write in the business components the model project. Yes, even though you are inserting directly into the table, but even then write that piece of code in model part. So that
okay, so that SQL statement should be written in proper place.
Yes.
Not everywhere.
Not everywhere, exactly. That's the thing. So in UI, you don't mess it up, otherwise it would be messed up. And
okay, it's more organized in this case, okay.
Yeah. So
but still you can do it.
See, we can do it. See, ultimately it's Java. We can do whatever we want once we have Java file, right? You don't, on click of create, you want to delete a file, that can be done. But yes, when we use a powerful framework like ADF, we typically, it's a very good idea to follow the guidelines of the framework. And
but sometimes a very complex application doesn't support it, like a couple of applications I have been working.
See, it does support. See, when Fusion Apps itself has been created in ADF, and it has like say maybe thousands of business use cases which ADF has supported. And that's where the advantage of ADF it is. See, ADF has evolved along with Fusion Apps. So whenever they got a complicated case, complicated business use case where for which they wrote a lot of code, they tried to make it declarative and they tried to make it simple.
Okay. It should not be done, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's where the business rules. See, business rules is really amazing and you would love it. And again, calling PL SQL is a standard Java functionality. See, from Java you can call PL SQL, from ADF you can call PL SQL, but it will be always via Java. In ADF there is no standard mechanism to call a PL SQL package. It would be through Java code, and we can see that. We see that in fact, like we do demonstrate it as part of our training program.
So you put the code mostly, the Java, the PLSQL code procedures packages mostly, you put it in the database level. Normally in forms we use it in within forms we use it in triggers or procedures packages, while in ADF you don't.
Yep.
Or you got some place like that in the ADF.
See, in ADF what they say is whatever business logic you have written in PL SQL, try to write it in Java code. Like maybe in the setters, maybe by writing business rules, writing AM methods and all those stuff. But still, yeah, for organizations which have huge legacy systems where maybe they wrote the code over last 10 years, in that case, yes, people prefer calling PL SQL directly from Java. And so that's the reason we have that use case in our training program. I would be showing you calling a PL SQL procedure with in and out parameters so that you can pass some data and get the feedback from the...
Okay, so if that's the case, then yeah, it resolves everything. Yeah.
That has been included specifically. It's not part of ADF, but yes, since for companies which have legacy apps, we have included that use case in our training program.
Okay.
And we would be building a custom application which would be typically like placing an order and then kind of updating the payment and all those stuff. So that will give you a fair amount of idea of the various functionality, the methodology in which you create code and how it would be ultimately built. So we'll be building it in a hierarchical way, in a step-by-step process. So
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to understand the advantage of this because normally I have been going through the Oracle provided online sample demo trainings. And I'm quite comfortable with this product since last 5 years. But the thing is, I can't use it as same like as Oracle Forms.
Yes.
I'm interested in that part. How you would be allowing customization. You know what I mean?
Yep. See, again, customization, when we talk, I hope you are talking about the Java customizations, because we don't have Fusion app to customize like you customize Oracle apps using extensions and personalization and all
No,
that.
no, no, no. In a non-template based, I wouldn't
Yes.
use customized term. Non-template based development, I would say.
Yes, we
Now,
will tell you. We will tell you like on a button click how do you invoke a Java method. In that Java method, see whatever you write, it's up to your business use case. But yeah, we'll be telling you how do you invoke. Like when a button is clicked, where you write Java code. When you click on a
and at
table,
item level, at block
yes,
level, or at form level, something like that.
yes. Those are the validations in ADF and business components at attribute level and at the entity level. Like when you move to the next record, which piece of Java code is involved. When you tap out, which piece of Java code is invoked. When you click on a
Okay,
table, when you select a row, if you have to write some Java code, we would be covering all those things.
that will be part of the training. Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's all. That's all for me.
Yep.
Seems
How about
interesting.
you, Sri?
Yeah, I'm good. But my point here is, so you're talking about the Java code, right? So why do we write the Java code in the model directory? So, and what's the use of the view controller?
See, Sri,
What are you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. See, we need Java code when we have to implement business use cases. See, ADF is a framework, right, which Oracle has developed on its experience on the previous ERP products and the various applications they have built using ADF. But see, every company may have a different business use case which is very unique to their business process. So when you are not able to achieve something declaratively, you write code. See, like one classical example which you will have to always write Java code is, see, you cannot create data declaratively data in the related object. See, like you are inserting data in table A, but at the same time you want to insert a record in table B. In ADF that cannot be done declaratively, you will have to write Java code. Typical use cases, see, when it is a Diwali offer, when they say, okay, when it's a Diwali offer and when you are registering on our site, we'll give you a item free. So it's an order which has been created literally in the order table, right? So there you will have to write Java code.
How do we know that those things belongs to ADF declarative and then the other rest part is doesn't belong to ADF? So we need to add the custom Java code. How do we know it?
See,
Or by understanding a few sessions we'll be coming to know, or
yep. See, that's what you would be comfortable with ADF as such framework. Say you in this training program, you would be learning like what all are the capabilities, when you have to use which approach. See, this training is designed for 30 hours where we cover almost all the aspects of ADF, but it's practically not possible to cover the complete ADF. So after this training, you would be comfortable with the methodology, the way ADF works, and you would be able to understand where you have to write Java code or you will be doing it declaratively. Many times when you move to the internet, people what they have done is they are from Java background or they are from OF background. So what they do is on internet there are many blogs which will directly straightway ask you to write Java code, but that's not the case. See, classical example is how do you manage the life cycle of a page. What you will find on internet is they will say, okay, create a Java class, configure it in the faces config and write logic there. It's not at all needed. All you need is you create a listener class, face listener in the page level, and you'll be able to write code. So those are the things we'll learn in this training program. That's where we'll help you out with it.
okay. Let us go to the next session. Then we'll be knowing understanding.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Rajesh.
Yep. Sure, guys. So do you have any other questions, guys? So do you have any other questions, guys? Gulam, Shri and Mahesh?
No, I'm all right with
Yep. So do you have any other questions, Gulam and Shri?
no, I'm happy with. Seems quite interesting, and only the worst part I'm waiting for. I don't know if it's the worst or good part. You know what I mean?
Yep, sure. See, once you get your hands dirty, that's when you'll realize the potential and the capability of the technology, and we'll try to make it comfortable for you. That's all I can say.
No, I'm talking about the financial part. They will come back after demo, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Would they be coming back immediately, or because they never told me about initially?
Yep.
They say you need to go through the demo first, and then we'll let you know. So let's see.
Yep. We'll call you up and we'll inform you regarding that also.
Okay, That's
Sure.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, guys. So thanks, guys. Thanks for attending the demo session. And if you have no other questions, we'll close the call and we'll meet later. Thank you, guys.
Raj, just a quick question.
Yes, these would be stored in the standard G drive. Maybe I'll show you a demo of it too. Just give me a minute.
Drive.
See, what we would be doing is we would be giving you access to the tech stack. We would be giving you access to this particular framework. It would be something like this. See, you see here, right? So you can see this video playing on my screen, right?
Okay.
So this is how we'll be giving you access. I'll maybe mute it. So this is how we'll be giving you access for 45 days, like from beginning after 15 days after the training is over. So you can listen to them anytime from your desktop. They are supported in mobile device also, so you can listen it in any Android phone or iPhone and all those stuff. So this is how you'll be having access to the training material.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Sure. So how about you, Shri?
That was
Yeah, I'm good, Rakesh. So I'll be talking with yeah,
Yep. Sure, guys.
regarding the
So
financial part. So I'll be talking with your representation.
yep. Sure, guys. So if you have no other questions, maybe we'll close the call, guys, and I'll give you a call individually and we'll take it forward from there, guys. Thank you all. Thanks for attending the
okay.
demo session.
Thanks, Raj. Bye.